Ready for a story about superheroes? Or what if I told you this was actually a story about super zeros, losers, achingly pathetic meta-human goose eggs? How about it? Ready to feel better about your own miserable lives for the next hour or so? Well, follow us. This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 89, Doom Patrol.
Superman.
Welcome, Cult Factionites, far and wide, to episode 89, where we turn our spotlight on Doom Patrol.
Doom, 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 doom.
I will be your leader this evening, your main host for the most.
You're the leader. You're the leader.
You can't do that. He's back in jail.
Oh yeah, he breached his parole, didn't he?
Safe then.
Yeah, so I will be leading tonight. My name is Brett Summers, and joining me as always will be...
Paul Hawkins.
And...
Damien Hicks.
He sounds upbeat.
I know I'm in a good mood today.
Yay.
Ooh. Don't know why. Don't know if it'll last either.
No, there's no guarantees in anything
No.
in life.
No, not at all. Death and taxes.
Yeah.
And EastEnders being miserable. Can't think of anything else. But anyway, let's not go down that dark Derry Square road. What have we been doing? What's been happening? What's been going on, Paul?
I don't think much in the Hawkins household has been going on because Shell's living a boring life at the moment, just drinking milk where she's prepping for an operation. So everything is on the QT.
Down low.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's not much excitement. I'm deliberately trying not to have, a Chinese takeaway in front of her or anything
Yeah,
like that.
Fair
so,
enough.
So yeah,
Is
quiet.
it normal milk, special milk, almond?
Just normal milk,
Okay. Well, something exotic,
Shrinks the
nice
liver,
for us.
apparently. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
allegedly.
Ooh,
Yeah. So no, it's been quiet.
okay. Spinning the spotlight around, Mr. Hicks.
With the exception of the milk business, pretty much the same. I genuinely sat here right now thinking, has anything happened since last time we got together and recorded? And
Are we just getting
I don't
old?
think it has.
Do we need to organise something to get
Yeah.
us out of the house?
Our exciting roller coaster like lives.
Yeah. It used to be the fact that we just couldn't remember it because we were so, had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now,
now
nothing
it's just
happens.
nothing
all,
happens.
All
We
the days are
instantly
rolling into
forget.
one.
Yeah.
I
think-
woke up and not know where I am for ages.
No, miss those. Do I miss those days? I do to some extent.
The carefree summer
Yeah.
days.
Waking up in a wheelie bin, stuff like that. They were happy days.
Things in your hair.
I
That's
hope-
been a while.
That's definitely been a while.
All right, Brett.
Yeah, okay. So me, I've just been, as Rihanna would say, I've just been work. Down with the kids. Yeah, not much at all. Really. Okay then, so let's turn our attention to what we've been watching, and I'm going to be radical and spin it back to you, Damien.
Oh, that does surprise me. Okay, so I carried on with Chemistry of Death, which I mentioned
Oh,
last
yeah.
week.
That's right.
Yeah.
I need to make a correction. It's not on Amazon. It is on Amazon, but
It's not an Apple.
It's not on Apple. That's what I said
Yeah,
last week.
yeah,
Wasn't it?
because I was on Apple.
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought
I
there
do
was something
apologise.
that Damien was watching,
No.
and it will pop up because there's not much on Apple.
Yeah,
It's
no.
Can we
it's
just
like-
get a quick 5-word what it was about
Yeah, I
again?
will
for
do.
anyone? Oh,
But
sorry,
let me
yeah.
do my correction. It's
Sorry,
actually on
sir.
Paramount, not on Apple.
Paramount.
So this was the story of a doctor who goes back to, or goes to live in a
It's the
small town.
story of a little
Not a small town, a small village even.
Is he an alien?
No. He is a pathologist.
He wants to be
type guy.
Quincy.
He wants to be a Quincy. Well, no, he was. He was one of the best Quincy's in the
We all-
world.
we all wanna
Second
be a
to
Quincy.
Quincy.
I'm going to get a boat one day.
Yeah. And then when he goes back to start his practice as a doctor in this small village, people start getting murdered, and he gets drawn into the case by a detective, even though he doesn't want to be involved. It went downhill after 2 episodes that I talked about last week, because the mystery of the murder was done and dusted within the opening 5 minutes of the next episode, and he's being dragged off to the Shetland Isles to investigate a unexplained death. It's just what I think it is. I think what they've done is they've taken maybe 2 books from a series, squashed them into one season of a season. So it just all of a sudden it's like, now you've drawn me back into being a pathologist. I need something to do, and the detective happens to know someone in the Shetland Isles who's found a dead body that needs investigating, and there's no police around because the police in Scotland are dealing with some other incident or another.
Yeah, that little Crankies lady went mad.
Yeah. So, and then it just
Don't
turned
talk about
into
Nicola
another...
Sturgeon like that.
That's exactly what I meant.
So it turned into another plain, boring detective story. Whereas the first lot of murders were quite... There was like ritual stuff going on and all that, and then all of a sudden it's Shetland without D.I. Perez, which is no good.
Isn't there a Shetland already?
Yeah, exactly. I see.
Yeah. Why does no one get killed in like the Isle of Wight?
Yeah.
Or
They should bring back Wycliffe or Wycliffe.
Wycliffe.
If they're going to bring him back, you got to bring the whole Fugees back.
Yeah. Wycliffe as a detective. I'd watch that.
And
Yeah.
Praz has to be the disco boy still from Mystery Man. Okay, so we've got that. Paul.
So I did start watching the second season of Carnival Row.
I've been putting that off because I just don't know if I fancy it or not.
I'm
Yeah.
the same.
So even though there was a few episodes to watch, I think I just didn't bother. I might not go back to it. It feels like they're just drawing it out for the sake of drawing it out.
See, I got no recollection of how the first season finished.
I've not seen any of it, I don't think. I might have watched the first episode, but I forgot now. And then,
Well, this one takes place a few years later as well, I think. But yeah, Cara Delevingne and Orlando Bloom, they're together now. And they're basically fighting injustice and all that kind of stuff, carrying on from the first.
he was doing a documentary on something the other day.
Oh, no, it was, yeah, but nothing that we can talk about in this podcast. It's just a bit meh, unfortunately. I don't know. Maybe I was just in the wrong mindset.
I was like that with what's it called? The Penny Dreadful, the second series. City of
I did the
Angels
same.
And that. And it had and I liked the girl in it. I've forgotten her name. She was in the Hunger Games, and she was in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I wouldn't know, but
I forgot her name now.
Yeah,
But
I know you mean.
but it was just a bit like it was a struggle to get.
yeah,
through
that was just kind of death now in the end, wasn't it? It didn't live up to Penny Dreadful, the original set. So
Yeah, no, it was a weird one.
So Carnival Row's probably not worth bothering with then.
As I said, I might have been in the wrong mindset. I might give it another watch. But if the next episode doesn't do it,
Am I right that this is the last season of it anyway?
There was only going to be 2.
So at least there might be an ending, at least, because they knew when they made it. So
yeah, I just don't know whether I'm fussed about what the ending is.
Ooh.
I'll report back.
I think in that case, I'll put it on the back burner for the summer when all the new stuff stops again.
Yeah.
Stupid American telly.
What about you, Brett?
Right, well, I took your advice and I finally got to watch some of Extraordinary on Disney Plus. I'm about, I think, 4 episodes in. I think I'm about halfway.
What do you think?
I really liked it. It's a nice
good, isn't it?
twist to the tale. I didn't realise the mum is the nun from Derry Girls. I've forgotten the actress's name.
Yep.
And she hosts the pottery programme, Great Pottery.
Yeah, in
or whatever
most
it
things
is.
she's in, she looks completely different to how
to what
she is.
the next one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. It's very funny. It's very well written. Nice little threads kind of get laid along and picked up around later
It just
on.
flows really well.
And I thought, without giving it away, I thought it was a really nice touch on the phone calls with her dad.
Yep.
And at the moment, I've just got to the bit where they're auditioning for like a super gang. And there was a guy there who could basically, he came to audition, very Mystery Men like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
audition. And
Doesn't go on as long.
he could 3D print anything out of his ass. And he's just squinting ages, and then this toy soldier comes out, like the sort of ones from Toy Story, you know, like
Yeah.
those one. And yeah, that was his power. And I liked there was another lad as well who could give anyone an orgasm with his touch.
Yeah.
And but he wears gloves and covers up because he needs to prove he can do it on his own. That was power. And that was why she was getting out of it, really, because she thought she was going to be in for a jolly good night, but it wasn't. Yeah, really funny, really good. The only bit that concerns me slightly is the way that Disney Plus advertise it. It just looks like a kids' teen drama on Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
It does a bit,
You know,
yeah.
sort of California
Ms.
Dream.
Marvel
why-
type thing.
Yeah,
I've said from the start I plan to watch it, but that's why I've not got round to it because it looks too fluffy to be
It's
bothered
absolutely
with
not.
until.
yeah,
there's
it's not at all.
okay.
The language in it is horrific.
Yeah, I
at
know
points.
that, but
But yeah,
Which is
no,
half
let it go.
Irish.
Yeah, but and the dad, her stepdad in it is Desmond's son from Desmond's as well.
yeah,
Oh, there's loads
Yeah,
of
and it's
people
just
in
one of
that
them, yeah.
you look at them and go, yeah, I know you.
Yeah, no, really good. I enjoyed that. But so I've got a few more to go yet, so hopefully they'll keep up this pace. And it's already got a second series.
Yep.
yeah.
So we clarified that before I watched it the other week on a previous episode. Really, we should go back in episode,
Yeah.
84 or whenever it was, but I can't remember. I
We don't.
also-
I've discovered this week that we do not have a very good filing system for our episodes. We literally just numbers. So if I want to go back and go, what, for example, what rating did we give Princess Bride?
Well, you can see the number for it.
If I have to, but I have to log into
Oh, yeah.
something else where where we do the recording. It's just numbers.
not
good.
Okay.
What else have you been watching
Sacrifices I
then,
make.
Damien?
So sticking with Paramount.
Oh, you're into a bit of Paramount.
Well, I think I might as well
think-
get the money's worth.
There's
Yeah.
some good stuff on Paramount.
And because I've only just signed up, there's like a whole year's worth of stuff to, catch up on. Although I think this is new-ish. The Wolf Pack.
The Wolf Pack.
The Wolf Pack. See, I
tell
used to be able
your
to say
back
that
on the
word with no problems whatsoever.
I know. I think you did say it. Okay.
Did I?
Yeah.
I'm just so conscious of it.
yeah,
No, it's werewolf that used to really
I'm not,
struggle with.
I'm not going down that route.
Werewolf.
Werewolf. So the Wolf Pack. It's got Sarah Michelle Gellar in. There's some other people in it, obviously, that are probably famous if you watch teen dramas, but I don't tend to watch teen dramas.
You love
Routinely.
teen dramas.
It centres around this group of kids who are on their school bus in the morning, and there's wildfires spreading across the county. As their bus begins to get engulfed in flames, they all get out and run around, but they not only find themselves at the mercy of the flames, but at the mercy of the beast
That's a bit
that
of a
runs
pisser, isn't
amongst
it?
them.
There's,
what?
That's a bit of a pisser.
there's
Yeah.
something.
You got
in
flames
the
coming at you, and then you
flames.
get a wolf.
Some sort of beast. Yeah, exactly. And then
But do they get bitten by the wolf?
it
and then
it
that
looks that
saves
way.
them
Yeah, it looks
from
that
the
way.
flames,
Pardon?
and then that saves them from the flames.
No,
Can I-
no.
Well, I thought
They get away from the flames because it's,
Well, I thought wolf pack would mean that
well,
the
then
wolf.
this is it. This
turns
is it.
them
You
all
see,
into
this is
Can
the,
I
this
just
is the,
check? Is Sarah Michelle Gellar like a teacher? She's not one of the teens, is she?
no, she's not one of the teens.
I just checked
She,
because I know what American dramas are like.
no, she's a senior fire investigator.
Oh, senior.
So as the series progresses,
and she's a woman.
they all come together because they all don't know that they've been bitten. The usual stuff about werewolves, etc. It's shit.
Oh,
Hold
Wow.
back, hold back.
and we spent all that time talking
I know,
about
but I watch the shit, so you don't have to. It's everything you expect from a MTV production.
it.
It is shit.
Shame.
Yeah, it had the potential to be good, but it's shit.
Well, I'm going to take your shit and I'm going to turn it into a glorious techno-color daydream a Moon Age Daydream, that is,
Ooh.
that I bought on Apple. So Moon Age Daydream, directed by Brett Morgan, all about the life and times of one of our cult classics, David Bowie. So Brett Morgan's done a load of different documentary type films on Kurt Cobain and all that kind of stuff. This is all centered around David Bowie, but it's not like a documentary, i.e., or an autobiographical,
Graphical.
thanks, Matt. Thing where it's like
Werewolf.
David Bowie was born in
Werewolf.
19... It really is. I mean, it uses a load of stock.
So it's not like a behind the music thing.
No, so it uses a load of live shows. Some haven't been seen before. Lots of interviews as well that he did, or snippets from interviews that he's done over the years. Lots of just stock footage, like a visual art show. It's really good. Well, obviously, if you don't like David Bowie, it's probably not for you. But if you do like David Bowie, it's brilliant because it's just trying to bring David Bowie's life to life. I watched it twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
If we,
What was that on? Sorry.
I bought it on Apple
Okay, so is it available on most
to buy.
to buy?
Yeah.
Or is it Moon Age Daydream?
Moon Age Daydream. But yeah, I watched it twice. It's brilliant. If we were teenagers, we'd have probably been watching it with some
Whiskey.
or something to really bring out the sights
Yeah.
and sounds.
The Moon Ageness.
Yeah. But no, it's a great insight into David Bowie. One thing that I did notice that wasn't included was a certain film, probably one of his best.
Firewalk with Me.
No mention of Labyrinth.
Oh, I see.
At all.
They probably weren't allowed the footage, so they just skimmed over it.
Yeah. But no, jesting aside, no, it's great.
Cool.
Dance, magic, dance.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's on most things that you can hire it. So yeah, I will. I'll have a look at that one myself. Like a bit of Bowie. Back to me. Right, what else? I have watched Megan, which sounds really creepy.
Did we talk about that?
Yeah, I
It's
watched
a
it the other
film.
week.
All right, yeah.
Again, I'm following on. I'm playing catch up.
That's why I wasn't
I'm
saying don't
behind
talk
with
about
the
it. I just
times. What was your view on it, Paul? I'm just to
I said it was
refresh my
good, predictable. You knew exactly what was going to happen, and it did happen. But I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah. What I liked about that, just building on that, is that I like the fact that they didn't rush it though. So when
Yeah.
it does happen, it's nearer the end rather than you've got half the film and everyone running away going, oh, and everyone knows or whatever. So the nice bit of dramatic irony with us being in on it and the characters unfortunately not being in on it. Oh. But yeah, very creepy at times, I thought.
Really good. I like the bit where she runs on all fours to catch up.
Yeah,
That looks like
that was weird.
something off The Ring or something.
So yeah, she went all like full Gollum.
Yeah.
And I thought the girl, I've forgotten her name now. I did have it, should have written it down, but I thought she was very good. And yeah, so we'll keep the girl. We get rid of everyone else in the sequel, but we'll keep the girl because they can do a nice thing like they've done with Charles Play C. Because like Andy Barclay is still in it now, and he's like 45 or 50 now, but it's still the guy who was the kid is the same person. It's not
Yep.
They didn't just bring in someone else who was six pack and big teeth. Going, look, it's him.
And now Megan's been set free.
Yeah, a nice little teaser at the end.
Yeah.
It could all be happening. And
Everywhere.
Yeah. So there's definitely room for a sequel. But yeah, I thought it was really good. In a time where we are just rehashing a lot of things, it kind of took the ball a little further forward as well. It tried it to be a bit different at least. And
Yeah, and I forgive it
Yeah.
all of its sins. I
Yeah.
mean, it made absolutely no sense. It was like that bit in what's the one where you get the Toy Soldiers, where they spend thousands of pounds to develop these little toys, but they release them on the mass market. It's like that would never happen. No.
And it was also like, what, you took $10 million from the company's money and done it on this because no one noticed.
Yeah.
I'd like to take $10 million out of my company's budget and see if anyone notices it's been filtered off. You'd all be sacked.
Yeah.
Even if it was a great idea, they would keep that because they would own it anyway because
Yeah.
you did it on the company. And yeah, so that was cool. I enjoyed that. Got a couple more things, but back to you, sir.
I have nothing else. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Up to you.
Wolfpack is 7 episodes, so that was a waste of time
Oh,
that I'm not going to get back.
You've
But
done all 7.
yeah,
Is
that's
there-
how I can say with
You
confidence.
hated it
it's
so
shit.
much.
I didn't. Well, I thought you'd done a couple. No, but no.
No,
Can
no.
can I just go back then? Is there an ending to it?
No, there's a cliffhanger ending, so there's going to be another. Well, I mean, if it gets
Right. So technically,
ratings.
like fans will be hoping to another series to pick this up.
Yeah, if they're
and carry
mentally
it.
ill, they will be hoping that there's another season. It's
Can't
that bad.
say that anymore.
I'm allowed to say mentally ill, aren't I?
I don't
Not
know.
sure. I don't think you are.
What alternative do I have?
Learning.
If they've got
Difficulties?
no taste,
Yeah, but there's a difference between having no taste and enjoying Wolfpack. It's seriously that
right.
bad.
Honest answer. Did you just watch it for Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Partly,
Yeah. And you had to watch it for a whole 7 episodes.
yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with admitting that.
No,
I
But,
might
you
get
know,
Paramount Plus just to
do-
watch Wolf Creek.
it does
Wolf
take a
Creek.
lot for me not to
Wolfpack.
see something to the end.
yeah.
It has to be really, really bad. Unfortunately, whilst this is really, really bad, I felt like I had to watch it to the end to prove that point.
Was it
Yeah.
basically? Is it Dawson's Werewolves? Is that what we're talking?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, not cool, but I get you. I'll feel you. Paul, what you got?
The only one I'm going to talk about lastly this week is because Creed 3's just been released. I thought, I haven't watched any of the Creeds.
I haven't seen any of them yet.
No, me neither.
So I watched Creed with Michael
Verdict?
B. Jordan and Sly Stallone. It's all right. It's all right. It's no Rocky 4. It's no Rocky 1. It's no Rocky 2.
3 was the best.
It's no Rocky 3. Yeah, again, you kind of know what's going to happen,
And it does.
and it kind of
Yeah.
does. You know, setting
Well,
itself.
that's all right sometimes because
Yeah.
you want that, you know.
I mean, it's not bad. I watched it all. I might watch the second one, but yeah, it's Rocky.
It is what it is.
It's Rocky with Apollo Creed's son.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, if that was made in England, it'd be on a housing estate somewhere.
Yeah.
Just one thing, just before I carry on with something else I watched, I'd just like to quick comment on the Oscars and Everything Ever All at Once winning everything pretty much. Someone was listening to us. And yeah, I just can't believe that Short Round's got an Oscar.
Oh, it's
Fair
nice all
play.
the photos as well with like Harrison Ford and Spielberg and everyone.
All those people trying to get relevant again.
Yeah.
Hanging out around with him. I
We've
haven't
always
returned
stayed
your-
in contact
Yeah.
with him. We've always
I
tried.
didn't return your call for 20 years.
Yeah. The nice thing was him and Brendan Fraser as well,
Yeah.
just sharing
I
the
forgot
love.
all about that. Because that was only because someone posted a picture and then I redone it on Instagram. That was from California Man or Insidio Man. They were both in that.
Were they? Obviously, I know Brendan Fraser is, but
But again, they've stayed in touch,
Yeah,
and they've gone through like bad times and good times and out of work basically
Yeah.
together.
but he's never been out of work though.
Well,
They're-
all right,
they're-
but
they're-
but
they're
not
pl-
making
they're-
enough,
Yeah, I know.
not
but
making the big bucks.
well, he's been a stuntman and an assistant director on loads of stuff.
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
but, not
they've
Hollywood
made it.
A-lister.
They've made it like he's been living in a trailer
No.
for the last since he finished.
well, let's be
Goonies.
honest, he's earned more than the three of us put together
Yeah.
over the last.
Although he
30
probably has
years.
been living in a trailer, a really nice one on
Yeah,
set,
on set,
set,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
with his
then-
meals made
But then
for
sort of
him.
like, you know, he's done Indiana Jones, then he made Goonies, and then like lived in a cave for 30 years, and then came back and won an Oscar. It's like he's been around.
Yeah.
I mean, still, I salute him. Fair play to him. And if you hear us talk about that, you'll on the episode where we did. Yeah, we bigged him up. But I just thought it was quite nice to see that, and yeah, they copied us. We
And
did
it was
first.
really, really nice to see diversity as well, because they were on.
I can't stand
They were
them.
on Dancing on Ice the other night. Sorry.
The more that I see him, the more you realise the nickname was ironic. But right, yeah, carrying on. UK listeners, UK cult factionites, trying that out again, try and drop it in. The ITVX app is now on your skyboxes. Buckle in for an awesome ride.
You still get adverts though, don't you?
Not if you're premium.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not paying for
Yeah, but
something.
the
that's...
whole point about ITVX is that you don't have to pay for it.
Well, you don't, but
Yeah,
there is advert.
I'm
but if you,
happy with it.
But no, I was going to say, if you did a premium, you get all the BritBox stuff as well.
I don't care. I'm not paying for BritBox, which is stuff that I've already seen.
Hold on, what?
Grange Hill.
That's
and...
my line. Everyone has a go at me when I say that.
Yeah, but you go on about the license fee. I've got no problem with the license fee.
Anyway,
We stand with Lineker. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, so I was just having a flip through that. 'Cause now it's on the TV, it's a lot easier than doing it on an app on the phone. Sapphire and Steel, going that quick little flick through, still very creepy and disturbing. That might be one of my future TV.
Yeah,
thingies
that's
down the
worth the
line.
revisit, definitely.
Because it is even.
I'll put up with the adverts. So.
It's just like, oh, you can. But it's just like on the £20 budget they had, they still made something that was quite freaky. But the main bit I want to talk about today, because this is something, it is watching something we used to watch, but I haven't watched this probably since the first time it was on. Maybe the odd repeat here there, but I'm trying to watch them in order now. Robin of Sherwood.
ah, cool. I didn't know that was on ITVX.
Yeah.
Cool. I might give those a
Um,
watch.
But what got me about it was this used to be on at 5:35.
Yeah.
Before. There's a lot of stuff in there that kids shouldn't be. There's in like episode 1, he's like gets locked in the prison thing, and that's where he meets Will Scarlet. And like, who are you? He's like, I'm Will so and so, but they call me Scarlet now because of what happened. And it's like, what happened? And it's like, well, the soldiers like beat my wife after death, had her way with her, and then cut and quartered her. And her blood was on my hands now. And that's Scarlet. And like, I'd have been sat there eating my chips at that. I probably would have missed what that meant.
I
You know,
would have
like-
been. Yeah, I used to eat my tea in front of them.
like, yeah, exactly. It's just sort of like, and there's a few other bits of just like people having their houses burnt down and stuff. And
Yeah, we used to watch that with our tea, and then
Yeah.
Dad would put on a random horror film or something. Yeah.
but it's
Like kids.
With Gen X, we grew up.
yeah,
We could take that.
we were, yeah.
Yeah.
But what got me back though, it really does need a remake because all the folklore stuff that's gone into it as well, which I didn't probably appreciate as a kid. It was like Robin Hood, bow and arrows, yeah. But all the Her and the Hunter stuff, the legacy of the hooded man, and they've got all this
The hooded
like
man.
the hooded man. Will,
Boom, boom.
The hooded man will come to Nottingham Forest, Sherwood Forest, one of them. Brian Clough. Yeah, it'll be and all that, and it's so well done. But obviously now,
And the theme tune.
yeah,
Clanad.
Clanad everywhere. But the problem now is you can obviously it's full of people you recognise through British
Yeah.
film and TV history, but also it's quite easy to spot who the extras are nowadays. Because it's like you've got like these really good bits of like Michael Praed as Robin Hood and like Will Scarlet and Clive Mantle as Little John or whatever. And then they would walk through a village and there'd be someone going like, "Hey, look over there! It's the sheriff! Quick, hide! I hope he doesn't come here and burn our house down." And he does. You know, it's
Yeah.
like I've got my minute and I am going to point and milk this. And it's probably like, why did we give him a line? It was just, you know, and you can tell. And a few cheeky kids who are trying to make the most of being in the background here or there as well, you know. Like, and it's good though, and I am enjoying it so far. But it's a lot darker than I remember it being,
Cool.
which is good. I like that. So yeah, Robin of Sherwood, ITV X, and I'm doing the X thing with my arms.
He
'cause
is.
It's cool.
Well,
But there's loads of stuff on there. Every time we go on there, there's more stuff. So keep an eye on it and have a look. Even
that's the
with
thing
all
about
the
those
adverts.
apps. They put on more content every week.
But one thing I will say on there as well, have a look at the films on there. There are some really like decent, proper, good films, not just ones we'd watch, on there that aren't on other things. But obviously, I guess because ITV pay for whatever and they have it for 6 months or something. Because normally they just do the run through all the ITV channels, don't they? From ITV1 to ITV8 or whatever it is at random times of the day. Now they're all on there now, and it's have a look. We're not sponsored by them, mate, but it's good. More content for us to consume. Yeah,
I'm not really going to get on board with ITVX until they drop the phrase "the freshest streaming platform."
Yeah.
but it is well fresh.
Bugs me.
That's because they're showing Get Fresh.
If only they were.
Yeah. It's because they're done with the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but you can tell like they've had a marketing thing. It's like,
Yeah.
right, Fresh is back. We'll use Fresh. Later on, it'll be the most pucker app going.
It's wicked.
In it, blood. But that's all I've been watching. Anyone else got anything to throw in?
Just that Anne Lockhart appeared in an episode of Airwolf the other day.
They both do, don't they? Again.
Yes,
Yeah,
they do.
I
I was watching it and it's like, hang on a minute. Hey, we literally were just talking about her. I got well excited. Sarah's looking at me like, what? What?
Because it's almost like, is there anything where one appears without the other one eventually? Well, later on they did,
Yeah.
obviously, because, she went to the big screen in the sky. But, because I think she even popped up in Battlestar Galactica.
Probably.
The mum did, didn't that? Yeah. But they were around. They were a big deal in America. I think we didn't appreciate their TV greatness.
No.
スポットライト
Okay, the spotlight now turns to Doom Patrol, which gets the honour of being the first television series we've
Yeah.
put under spotlight. Is that right?
It is.
Yeah. And we are looking at the pilot episode. And just before we do that, just a little bit of background. Doom Patrol is an American superhero television series developed by Jeremy Carver, and it's based on the DC Comics superhero team of the same name, which was created by Arnold Drake, Bob Haney, and Bruno Premiani. The original version of the team debuted in June 1963 in My Greatest Adventure number 80. So that's worth a few quid now, I imagine. The Doom Patrol all received their powers through tragic circumstances and are generally shunned by society. That's your main vibe. Most members of the team were treated by the Chief, played by Timothy Dalton, who is a medical doctor who gave them residence in his mansion to help protect them from the evil outside world. Their name derives from an earlier Doom Patrol team that was formed by the Chief, which is investigated later in the series. And in this version that they use in the TV series, we have Jane, played by Diane Guerrero, who is has dissociative identity disorder, and every personality she has its own power. We have Rita Farr, played by April Bowlby, who's an old 1920s actress who struggles to prevent her body from turning into like a gelatinous. Gelatinous. I say it's about gelatinous. Gelatinous state. Basically, she turns to a big blob. You've got Larry Trainer, played by Matt Beaumont and Matthew Zuck. One's voice, one's the body, who has an entity of negative energy living inside of him. And Cliff Steele, played by Brendan Fraser, Oscar-winning Brendan Fraser, and Riley Shanahan, who has to walk around in a suit, whose brain has been placed in a robot body following a car crash. The team is later joined by cybernetically enhanced superhero Cyborg, aka Vic Stone, played by Jovan Wade. Now, although... that's the important thing here for the people taking notes.
For the people who care.
Yeah, Doom Patrol made an appearance in the Titans TV series, and although Bowlby, Bowman, and Fraser reprised their roles in the series, the two shows are in separate continuities. It's on the multiverse. It's a different Earth type thing. Not that they just got a few extra people in cheaper for that one to test it, and then when they got it good, they put different people in. It premiered on February the 15th, 2019 on the DC Universe streaming service. And the fourth season has been announced and is going on at the moment, and that will be the final season due to the James Gunn coming in and taking over all over DC stuff and stopping everything, because it's all going to be under one umbrella, etc.
Yeah.
Finally. So, just before we take a look at the episode, had anyone had any Doom Patrol experiences before this?
None
comic
whatsoever.
Or whatever?
The version of the Doom Patrol that I'm probably most familiar with is the version of the Doom Patrol that turns up in Teen Titans.
Okay.
Teen Titans Go. Which is, again, very different to the Doom Patrol that we're talking about.
Okay, then. I guess we'll turn our attention to the plot.
Okay, let's do that. So we start with an opening narration. And now I'm no good with accents or any of that malarkey. I can't even really do acting. So I'm just going to read this.
Just cut
and
what
hope for the
Brett did
best.
on the intro.
Yeah.
Have a go.
Ready for a short story about superheroes? More TV superheroes. Just what the world
It
needs.
sounds like you anyway.
Yeah, I know. I'm guessing that's why you gave me this bit. Be honest. Have you hung yourself yet? Or what if I told you this was actually a story about super zeros, losers, achingly pathetic meta-human goose eggs? How about that? Ready to feel better about your own miserable lives for the next hour or so? Follow me. In Paraguay, 1948, the narrator is revealed to be a third-rate criminal, Mr. Eric Morden, played by the now legendary Alan Tudyk. So I was waiting. Normally,
I deliberately didn't.
I was waiting for it because normally that's what happens. But whenever we mention his name, we all start going Tudyk, Tudyk.
Yeah.
Okay. I shall carry on then. It's played by Alan Tudyk, who takes part in an experiment run by former Nazi scientist Henrik von Fuchs, played by Julian Richings. This transforms him into a meta-human.
Yeah, we're not really told what that actually means.
What, meta-human?
Yeah.
Well, no.
What powers he's going to get or anything. He just wants to.
No.
Yeah, we just see him sort of.
We're just
being
left to wait to find that one
He
out.
just wants some powers.
just really creepily friendly and happy. He's like that sort of weird smile, it's like the beaming teeth, and then he's like, "But you know it's gonna go bad."
Yeah.
And I do like the fact that it's just Von Fuchs. Clearly, that was on purpose.
Yeah. And it's almost a Raiders of the Lost Ark Hellboy type feel to it, isn't it?
But it's the fact that what got me is that he's the narrator, and it's like, well, we don't know much yet about him, but it's just a weird choice. But it works. It works. And well, we'll get into more of that in a bit later on. But yeah, I like the opening. Thought it was quite a bit different compared to, if you think most things at the time when this came out, it was Arrowverse, Flash, and Supergirl and all that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, yeah, fair dues. It did draw me in, but it probably drew me in more for the fact that it was Alan Tudyk doing the narration. But was he? The best way to phrase this is: was he Alan Tudyk when he did this? If that makes sense.
This is only.
It's only what 4,
Yeah,
5
not
years
long
ago.
ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was.
This is pre Resident Alien though, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Well, it premiered 2019, so probably about the same time. Resident Alien's on season 3 now. There's season 4 of this coming out.
Oh, okay.
Post Moana.
Give or take give or take a bit of COVID,
Yeah.
so to speak. But yeah, over to you, Paul.
Okay, so we had the set and the scene about him, and then we cut to 80s decor. So it's a big old sprawling mansion in the 80s. We get 80s fashion. So we've got some woman in lycra working out, which is obviously quite nice.
80s-tastic.
Yeah, and then we've got Brendan Fraser, who's basically banging who we find out is the nanny. And he's sporting a really nice mullet. So, and we then cut to him going at the NASCAR track, and whilst he's on his way to the NASCAR, his wife basically comes up to him, lets him know what's going on, and basically says, "Crash and die, babe." And as he's out driving the NASCAR, his wife is then feeling up one of the pit crew members or something like that. And at this point, he then goes off and has a big crash in the car. We get a few flashbacks to when his daughter was a baby, and then we get to basically what looks like a mechanic, but turns out to be the doctor trying to fix him. And he basically transfers Cliff's brain into a robotic body 7 years later. So we get pretty much a lot of RoboCop style treatment of this bit.
And I think that was on purpose.
Yeah, it probably was. And as I said, the Dr. Pierce Brosnan's getting him all back into shape and teaching him how to walk again with nice set scenes of him teaching his daughter how to walk upstairs, and he's basically doing it for them. So Yeah, so he finds out that it's not the 80s anymore. He meets the
It's
other.
not the 80s anymore.
He meets some of the other residents of the Doom Manor. So Rita gives him the lowdown of, she basically tells him as it is.
Yeah, she's like the mother of the house, I suppose,
Yeah.
isn't she?
And breaks it to him really gently by showing him a mirror of his robot face. Even though Niall said that don't do that, he's not ready, she decides that he is.
I like all his T-shirts as well. He's got a great collection of T-shirts.
Yeah.
That carries on as the series
Does it?
develops. Yeah, sorry, Paul.
No, that's basically I think what I've got to speak about.
Yeah.
Again, just some nice references to other film and TV's stuff over the years.
Yeah, no. The bit I like about that as well is that it cuts as he's doing the race and the car's flipping towards him. So you kind of figure that's how he ended up like that.
Yeah.
But we find out something else later on. But so we meet Rita Farr, as Paul said, who also lives in the house. She was a 1950s actress who kind of had a bit of a higher opinion of herself. I think she's one of those people that, as she got more famous, got more big-headed and
Yeah.
up her own arse a bit. And then while they're making a film in Africa, I've forgotten the name of it now, but it'll come back up. She gets exposed to a toxin, and it in the water, and it turns her into this sort of blobby, plasticky, meltingy,
Gelatinous substance.
gelatinous type subject, a bit like the Blob. And also we meet Larry Trainer, or Negative Man, who's a former United States Air Force test pilot who was exposed to negative energy in the early 1960s when he was trying to fly wasn't to space, was it? But it was higher than...
It'd be the stratosphere
the
or something.
and basically he attracts a
Something's out there.
negative being, and it sort of lives inside him. And
He comes crashing down to Earth on
Yeah.
fire.
yeah, so he's all scarred up. Looks like the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
Again, probably a play on the classic literature of the sort of universal horror kind of thing, because you've kind of got a Frankenstein and Invisible Man and all that type thing. But it's a nice bit. And also, Larry's got a secret. But I don't think that comes out yet, does it?
No,
That's a bit later on.
a bit later in the episode.
Yeah, so we've got this sort of weird cast of characters, and obviously Dr. Niles Calder as well, played by old Mr. James Bond, or the Chief, as they all call him. David.
Okay. So we then jump to the present, and the group have lived together for many years in Doom Manor. I did like the Skeletric set that he's got.
I thought
the
you might.
montage. Because at one point, he's just been sat in the window for 10 years, isn't he? And then that comes in, and then he opens it, and it's 4 years later, and then suddenly it just
He's got this
builds
massive Skeletric set, which we could do in here one day.
Yeah.
I will do.
The bit I really liked on that as well was, it might be on there, sorry if you're going to say it, but she said, there's a new building next to the bank. What's that? And he said, it's a library. And she's like, your handwriting's terrible. He's like, I've got robot figures.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. Okay, so he's got a nice little Skeletric set, and then we're introduced to Jane, a young woman with 64 superpowered personas or alters. Jane convinces the group to go to the nearby town of Cloverton, Ohio, while Calder's away. I was trying to think of a different name for him.
The Chief.
The Chief, that was it.
Chief.
Well, the Chief is away.
Or Dad.
Yeah, for some reason. So, is that?
But that's one of the characters. It's not a dad, but that's what...
No,
that's
that's
one
not.
of
But
them.
one of
what
them
Cliff
shouts out.
calls him.
Oh, is it Cliff?
Yeah.
Was it? I didn't catch who said it, but it's like,
Yeah.
bye, Dad.
Yeah, I think his little sarcastic way. But yeah, Jane, you don't see it on this one, but all of her personalities live in a place called the Underground.
Right.
And you see it, you go into her head, and basically it's like a subway train. And they're all in this bit, then they get on the train. The one that goes to the top is the one in charge. So some of them have fights and that on who should be the dominant personality and all that. And it gets quite messed up as it goes along, because they're all played by different people in the Underground as well. So you've got all these
okay.
other... And Hammerhead is this big sort of China type mohawk woman and all that. And then there's one of them's like a little girl, and one of them's and they'll just stand around looking at each other and so it's quite weird and eerie, but it works. But not quite the Red Room in Twin Peaks, but it's that sort of. But yeah, Jane is clearly someone you don't want to mess with. They all seem a bit scared of her.
Yeah. She's clearly in charge.
Yeah, and they kind of get out of the way, and Cliff just gives us some grief, and then she grabs his junk.
Cool. Yeah. So obviously, like all kids, told to do one thing, they do the opposite, and they go into town and try to do or live a bit of normalcy, I guess. So Rita goes off to the diner, has a bit of chit chat, obviously with the waitress. Say, hey, you look familiar. You look like the film star from the 50s, and they have a good chat. Larry tries to go into a bar and order a beer. I did wonder how he was going to drink that.
Yeah, I
with
was
his
thinking the exact same
bandages.
thing.
And Cliff and little Jane just start wandering around.
She takes him to a toy shop.
Yeah, and thanks, Brett.
That's right.
And then
Not that we see the toy stocks. I was disappointed about that.
no, we just cut to them having a
chat on
chin
a bench,
rag.
yeah.
with a giraffe.
And then
Yeah.
things start to take a turn for the worst as some of Rita's personal life, even though it was made up, gets banded about by the waitress, in even potentially starring in a porn film or something like that, which she didn't do. So her face starts going a bit.
We're not sure.
So her face starts going a
She
bit
never denies it.
funny, and she turns almost blob-like.
And it almost does go, doesn't it? Like 1950s Steve McQueen, the
Yeah.
Blob.
As she comes out of the diner and so on. And yeah, she's starting to wreak havoc on the town until basically Cliff lifts up a bit of road
Huge slab of tarmac.
and saves a bus. And yeah, they basically run off back to Doom Manor. Turns out then that we find out, because of all the issues and fuss that they've caused, something bad is going to get them.
Yeah, Niles isn't happy, is it? The chief's not happy.
Yeah, so the chief basically says, right, we're off. Pack your things, let's go. Cliff basically steps up and says, well, if we leave, Cloverton's in trouble. I'm not going to leave. So he goes to defend the town. And all of the rest of the Doom Patrol have a change of heart, go back to the town, and just as they're walking down the street, almost I was going to say Magnificent Seven style,
Yeah, it's got all of those kind of connotations to it.
we're then confronted by Morden, who opens up a vortex in the middle of the road in front of the team, and starts swallowing in trees and stuff.
Yeah. You've missed the random donkey.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So a donkey just sort of goes across them and farts. And his fart spells out
Evil
There's-
gas.
it says something. I can't remember what it says now.
No, I was just trying to.
There's more, I don't know, something about the mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what it said now. Should have written it down, but I was bored by this point. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So there we have it. That's the plot of the pilot episode of
It's
Doom
basically
Patrol.
formed all of the jigsaw puzzle pieces.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a few more bits to go in. But yeah, no, you're right. It sets up our four main, the core of the team,
Protagonists,
or
yeah.
whatever you want to call it. The villain, who's been narrating the whole episode.
Yeah. We get to see him
Uh,
almost lawnmower mower man style.
The chief, who it's kind of hint that might not be as straightforward as he seems, because Jane points out that because the chief tells Cliff his daughter's dead,
Yeah.
and she points out that he's not, and like it's the internet, but I don't think he really knew what that was and just smashed her phone up.
Yeah.
Because there's a bit later on where he goes on the internet, and then there's a bit where he gets addicted to online gambling as well, because he doesn't realise it's real money. And they have to keep selling things. But at this point, would anyone go on to episode 2?
No.
No? Okay.
Nah.
If it was free, but I had to buy that.
Okay.
£2.69 that cost.
Objectively, would you go on to?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thoughts then? Well, I'll start with you, Paul. Then.
Yeah, it's weird. Because in the back of my head, I had the Doom Patrol from Teen Titans, and they're nothing like those. Yes. So no, it was fine. It was a pilot episode. I'm surprised about the quality of a pilot episode actually, and some of the people that they managed to get to play the roles. It did what it's supposed to do, isn't it? You know, set up all the characters, had a bit of a cliffhanger. Yeah.
Oh God, I didn't realise that. That's what they did, didn't they?
What cliffhanger?
Yeah, because it was Cliff that took them back there.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing there. And it ends up, it's nowhere near as surreal as it gets. This is probably the most straightforward episode. Because I think, if I remember rightly, I'm trying to go back now, the donkey farts are what open up the doorways to the other places. So it's almost like the donkey farts are like a wormhole.
Okay. The donkey farts. That's what we should have called this episode. A shame we don't do the random episode names anymore.
Yeah, and and you haven't met Gary yet either, who's kind of an associate of the Doom Patrol. Gary is a street
Okay.
who later turns into an ambulance.
Good to know.
But yeah, and people are looking for that street, so he has to move around. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. But I was the one that recommended it. So there's no, so Damien, go on then.
It's just another one, isn't it? There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with the acting. There's nothing wrong with the setup. There's nothing wrong with the characters. There's nothing wrong with any of it. But it's just another DC universe nonsense. It reminded me of the other one with the monkey in
Oh yeah, Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella Academy. And I just don't have room in my life for more of this nonsense. So maybe in 2019, if I'd have watched it, I might have carried on watching it. But I got bored with the monkey thing.
Umbrella
Academy. I got bored of the constant conflict between the 5 of them and 6 of them, however many it was. And whether it goes down this route or not, I can see that doing the same thing.
More,
Where it's just in arguing and
there's
in
a lot
argument.
more surrealness in this one.
That doesn't make it good though, does it? So
Yeah, it does in this one.
it's not for me. Which is a shame because I like Brendan Fraser and I thought he was
he's
brilliant
the
in
best
it.
thing in this. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
but-
really good in this.
And there's little quips in the background that aren't. You don't go over your head, but they're. You just literally, he'll just say something in the
Yeah.
background and it's not even acknowledged, and that's really funny. It's good stuff, but as I say, it's if I'd have seen this before Umbrella Academy, before The Boys, maybe I'd have stuck with it and I'd be enjoying it in parallel with those shows.
It just doesn't feel fresh.
Yeah, it's not.
But again, this is
It's no ITVX.
But this goes back to what I was just saying about old Short Round and that as well. Like everyone's like, Brendan Fraser come out of nowhere to win an Oscar. It's like he's been doing this for 4 years.
Yeah.
And there's probably been. He was in the G.I. Joe movie. He's been around. It's not like he's not another guy who's just been sat doing nothing on his arse for
Yeah.
ages. But that's the attention people pay to. That's why we matter. That's why we. good at this.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, that's our mission. But okay then. So we'll start with Damien. Out of 10.
Well, despite everything I've just said, because it's just not my thing, but I'd still give it a 7 out of 10 because, especially as a pilot episode, it's enjoyable and good, but it just doesn't make me want to go and watch more. I've got other stuff that I want to watch.
Fair enough. Paul.
No, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It does everything that a pilot episode should do. Sets up the characters, draws you in a little bit. Well, not everyone. And leaves on a cliffhanger. And I can see why they didn't make it so out there for a pilot episode. So that's probably why, all the
They want to
random
freak
weird
everyone
things,
out. Yeah. There's some Nazi puppets later as well. Yeah, I'd go with good. Yeah, I'd go with 7 actually, because I think it gets stronger later. As it goes along, it builds up, and then there's just really weird, surreal stuff later on, and some really dark shit as well that you don't expect to be in like a program like this. So, which upset a few people, but hey, you know, not everything has to be like sorted out in half an hour and everyone's happy again at the end. So yeah, okay then. So what was our grand total there? So that was
21.
Yeah.
cool, 21. So that's
Damien's
that,
little algorithm.
so we'll put,
Work that
put that in the chart. So that's our first TV series now. We've got a chart of all the films that we've looked at, and we'll move on from there, and that will build up, and that will be available online somewhere at some point.
Oh, okay. I thought we were just going to talk about it.
Yeah,
Well, we'll see.
well, we'll see.
Might be one for the New Year's.
Yeah.
that could be our review. So that has been episode 89 then, where we put our spotlight on Doom Patrol. Let us know what you think about it. Are you watching it? Have you watched it? Was it good? Was it bad? Did it freak you out? What bit actually freaked you out? Because some of it's well freaky. If you got anything like that, drop us a line at.
Cultfactionpodcast@mail.com.
And please keep track of us and download us on your podcast apps and rate and review us, because it really does make a difference. We've got, I think, 6 or 8 reviews now.
Have we?
Yeah,
My word.
I know. People are doing it. Thank you.
Thank
We
you,
do
everyone.
appreciate-
Thank
68
you.
reviews. Wow. 68.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, tell your friends and get them to tell their friends. Share us. Forward us.
All right.
link to us,
Stop begging.
whatever else. Just please.
No,
please.
don't tell your friends. Reverse psychology, though.
That's what you're doing. Is that your power?
Yeah, just keep it to yourself.
But in the
Be our
meantime,
little secret.
yeah. In the meantime, you can keep tracking us on all the different social medias: the TikTok, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitters, and whatever else is out there. And our big mothership at,
Cultfaction.com.
which has got everything we do, everything there. You can basically follow our entire lives on that website.
News, reviews.
News, yeah. The new Dungeons and Dragons reviews just come in from our colleague Martin Osborne,
Cool.
and he gave it 10 out of 10. He went,
Really?
What? He went, you need to see this film. He said, you're going to love it.
There you
He
go.
is, and he's a good reviewer. So
10 out of 10. Wow.
And he said, like, this is amazing. I said, yeah, but is it the cartoon?
Yeah.
I said, I want the cartoon. But he said, like, he went in not expecting much, and he came out like, whoa.
Cool.
Okay.
So, yeah.
More information on that at cultfaction.com.
Okay, then. So now we turn our eyes to next week, where Damien, it's your choice.
Okay. So if I was to say to you, Freddie Jones, Alan Armstrong, Bernard Bresslaw, Liam Neeson, Robbie Coltrane, and Todd Carty.
Sounds like a good night out.
Yeah.
Carry on Tucker's luck.
I am challenging you to rewatch, because I know you would have all seen it, the 1983 classic Kroll.
I went to the cinema to see that.
So did I.
I don't think I've seen it since. yeah.
I'm not going to veto this
Kroll.
one.
No.
No, nothing. I'll watch that again. Where can we see such?
So this is on it's on Amazon. It's a rental, I'm afraid, but it's a couple of quid.
That's
$2.49.
Cheaper than Doom Patrol pilot episode.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll probably buy it,
Yeah.
but will it be as good?
What if you buy it?
No. better
Oh,
than
will
Doom
it be as
Patrol.
good as Doom Patrol? I see.
Find out next week,
Building
fans.
suspense, creating tension.
Yeah. So if you want to play along at home, as usual, it's on Amazon Prime. It's available to buy in the UK at least for £2.49.
You can probably get a DVD for £1 on eBay.
Probably, yeah. And it will arrive in time to watch it before next week's episode. But yeah, there we are. That's what we're doing next week.
Cool.
Okay, so we are now waiting for a donkey to fart so we can go through its vortex into another world of next week. But until then, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
See you later.
Superman.
So you pissed us off so much, we probably just forgot about it.
You liked it.
I do, but it annoys the shit out of me, so it's getting a 4. It's bugged me for 23 fucking
Yeah,
years.
you can't give it a thing because it's fun.
I can. It's my rating. I can give it the rate. Do I?
You can
I
write,
base
I
it on.
really like it, but it annoys. I don't want to wear it for a dick. Yeah,
Do it, do it, do it. Flash. He saved every one of us. Do, 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 do.
Gordon is alive.